Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Can you hear me down the back?
Yeah.
Can you hear me up the front?
Yes.
Good. Thank you all for coming. Good to see you all. Welcome to Hare Krishna Valley. This is our February open day where we invite the world to come and visit us. This is a place of peace and prosperity. It's a place of auspiciousness. It's a place of good fortune. It's a place where we can see some sanity in the world because the world is becoming a little insane. Has anyone noticed this? If you watch the news, they're saying that there could be a conflict in Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, true.
It is true. I haven't watched the news for about a week. But someone told me this morning, they said it's heating up between Russia and Ukraine. So, all good news. All good news. And the question we asked here at Hare Krishna Valley, because the reason we have this place, this is part of the Hare Krishna movement, which some of you may be familiar with, the Hare Krishna movement. So we're a Hindu-based tradition. We come from ancient India, from the Vedic teachings of India. Have you heard of the Vedas? Like Ayurveda? Now that's famous, Ayurveda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Veda means knowledge. So Ayurveda means knowledge of life, and how to live a long life. And Vedas, the word Veda means knowledge. So the ancient books of India are called Vedas, or the Veda. So at Hare Krishna Valley and in the Hare Krishna movement, we try to teach people how to live harmoniously with this world. Because we're in this world right now. All of us are spiritual by nature. Does everyone understand that point? I think most people understand that. We're spiritual. The body is temporary. Right? Just something that we happen to be in right now. But the body will disappear shortly. Right? It only lasts 100 years maximum. 105 if you're lucky, or 126. Or, I heard a guy recently 330 or something. Occasionally you'll get someone. Yeah, from the Himalayas you'll get some yogi. Yeah, he'll be 330 or something. But it's rare. These days, like 100's kind of like maximum. I think the average lifespan is about 67 on the earth. That's not very long, actually. So everything is very temporary. It's very short here in this material world. The body is temporary. Who we actually are is the soul, and that is permanent. So we try to bring people to this level of understanding that you're not the body, you are the soul. To understand higher knowledge. Right? To understand this superior state of existence. So when we understand that, then we act differently in this world. And that's what we teach in the Hare Krishna movement. How to live harmoniously in this world. Because we are in this world. The soul is in the body at this point in time. And we're in this material existence. But according to the ancient teachings of India, there's another world far above and beyond this world. Which people, they give it different names around the planet. Some people call it heaven. Some people call it the spiritual world or kingdom of God or different things. Everyone has different names. We call it Vaikuntha in Sanskrit. You know this word, Vaikuntha?
Yes.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Synonymous with heaven.
What's that?
It's synonymous with heaven.
It is synonymous with heaven, but it has a literal meaning. Two words, Vaikuntha.
There is no kunta.
Yeah, a place where there is no kunta. So what does kunta mean?
Grief. Grief or
Yeah, grief, misery, suffering, displeasure. Does anyone here know what I'm talking about tonight? Anyone had suffering in this world? Two people? Everyone else is blissful. Not really. So, this place is called Kunta. Kunta means anxiety. That's the literal meaning, anxiety. You can't escape anxiety in this world. Even if you try, you can't escape it. You go somewhere to escape anxiety. Just like I had a friend, and she went for a holiday up to Cairns, I think it was, somewhere up there, far north Queensland, beautiful place. So she saved her money, went up there, and she got there, and then she went down to the beach, and she was laying on the beach, and there's a marsh fly plague just at that time in hands. Tropical, like just couldn't sit there for more than a minute. You know, without little flies going hitting you. So where's the pleasure? It is kunta. You go there to be happy, and then what do you get? Or I heard one very extreme story. Do you want to hear an extreme story? You do? Okay. Some people like extreme stories. So I heard this, apparently it's true. So a family from Brazil, they wanted to go to Hawaii for a dream holiday. So they worked hard for years because the economy is not very good. And saved for like 6 years. Finally got their ticket. They all flew to to Hawaii. They got to Hawaii and they were on the 14th floor of their beautiful hotel building. And it was just pouring rain for 2 weeks. And everyone was so depressed, apparently the whole family jumped off the balcony.
Alright.
That's extreme. But people say they want to hear extreme stories. So. Apparently it's true. Apparently it's true. So this word is kunta, means misery, means anxiety. You cannot escape it. So therefore Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, have you heard of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is like our ancient law book from India. Very beautiful, very powerful book. We have copies available in the shop. So if you want to read it, you can get a copy in the shop. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Matra spashas tu kunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkada, agama payanon nityas, tam titikshasva bharata. So in the ancient Sanskrit, Krishna says, Matra spashas tu kunteya, it means the senses are engaged with contact with the sense objects in this world. We see things, we taste things, we touch things. Right? And shitoshna sukha dukkada. Shitoshna means winter and summer. Winter and summer come of their own accord. Right? Try and stop winter coming. Not possible. Right? It will just come. There's powers beyond us which make these things happen. So winter will come, and then when winter comes, what do you know? Summer is coming. Right? So these cycles just happen. And then sukha dukkha means happiness and distress are like winter and summer. They will come and go. If you're really, really happy in this world, what do you know?
Distress is coming.
Misery is coming.
Yep.
And if you're miserable in this world, what do you know? You're going to be happy soon. So why do you get so caught up on it? The whole world is just caught up on avoiding misery, but you can't. This place is called kunta, it's called anxiety, it's the place of anxiety. You can't, it's going to come. So Krishna says, Shitoshna Sukha, Agama Payanon Nityas, Tam Titikshashva Bharata. Titiksha means tolerance. Tolerate it, because it's going to come anyway. So why are you going to spend all of your energy fighting it? Right? Just let it come. Be like the tortoise. You know the tortoise? In Sanskrit we say korma. You know korma? The famous Hare Krishna cook. You know him? His name is Korma. Korma literally means tortoise. We call him Korma. So Korma, the tortoise, when there's misery and suffering, what does the tortoise do? Brings the senses back within. Buckles down, lets the danger pass, and then comes back out. So that's what we do in this world. When there's problems, we just go within, right? Become more reflective, more internally absorbed, and then when the difficulties pass, then we interact again. So that is the nature of this world. It is called kunta. It is called anxiety. You can't avoid it, but you have to learn to deal with it. And if you really want to get rid of it, hands up if you want to get rid of anxiety once and for all. Okay, we've got about 6 people. Oh, now everyone's getting it. Okay, I'll ask one more time. Hands up if you want to get rid of anxiety once and for all. Okay, now I've got about 95%. So some of you want it, you can keep it, that's okay. But if you want to get rid of it, you have to go back to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is another world. It's where Vai means no, without. With a place without anxiety. Now, we hear about this place all the time. We've heard about it since we were born. There's another place, there's another place. But the problem is, most people don't know how to get there. Just like these days, in churchianity, I used to go to church when I was younger. This is not Christianity, this is churchianity. Christianity is what Jesus taught. What they teach now is not necessarily what Jesus taught. So our Guru Prabhupada would call it churchianity. So in churchianity they tell you when you die, you will go to that place automatically. All you have to do is be a little bit of a good person and say, Jesus, I love you, and you will go there. That's not logical. That's not logical. Basically they're saying is you just can do whatever you want in your life, and at the end you just say, I'm sorry, and you will go all the way to the spiritual world. It doesn't work like that. It's not that cheap. How much does it cost to get a plane ticket to India? $1,000, right? If you get a good deal, about $1,000. Right? So you can't just go to the airport and just say, I'm going to India, let me on for free. I say, no, you have to pay. There's a price for it. So in the same way, if you want to go back to this other world, you can't just get there for free. You can't just say, well, you turn up at the airport and you say, I'm a good person, I was really nice, and I love Jesus, can you let me on the plane? I want to go to India. It doesn't work like that. You have to pay the price. So similarly, if you want to go back to Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, then we have to put in some effort. We have to pay a price. So what is that price? It is called bhakti. Bhakti means devotion. Have you heard of this word, bhakti? Yeah, it's a famous word now. In all the yoga schools, they all talk about bhakti. Bhakti means devotion. Now, devotion to who? This is important. In the spiritual world, in that Vaikuntha place, we are taught in the ancient teachings from India, there's a person who lives there. And his name is Krishna. Has anyone heard of him? Krishna? Yeah, some of you people. Are you from India?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've heard of Krishna? Yeah.
Yes.
And even the Western people, a lot of people have heard of Krishna these days. So Krishna is the blue cowherd boy. He's in all the pictures. In the ancient teachings of India, it says that this blue cowherd boy is God. Now people say, well, that's a little strange. He's a blue cowherd boy. Yes, it describes he is a blue cowherd boy. And what is his nature? His nature is Akila Rasamrita Murti. Rasamrita Murti means he is like the reservoir of pleasure. Right? He is always happy. And because he is so happy, everyone around him becomes happy. Not even happy, it's actually blissful. In the spiritual world. So it says that everyone in the spiritual world is emanating bliss perpetually. And because he is there, there is no suffering, there is no misery. There's no coronavirus in the spiritual world. It's not there. There's no coronavirus. There's no tax. Spiritual world. No one taxes you. Everything is free. All day long. You get free Hare Krishna food all day long. Does it sound like a place you want to go?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's why I joined the Hare Krishna movement. Free Hare Krishna food. Last 30 years. I didn't pay once. Right? Free Hare Krishna food. When on the first day I walked into the temple, they fed me, and I said, what do I have to do to live here? And they said, you have to shave your head and become a monk and put on the robes and chant and everything. I said, no problem. I said, I can eat like this. They said, anytime. And then I move in, and then last 30 years like that. So it is like, in one sense, it's like being in Vaikuntha. And there's no anxiety. Except there's a limit how much we can eat here. In the spiritual world, there is no limit. Because your body is spiritual. There's no toilets in the spiritual world. Seriously, there's no toilet. You just eat and it just spiritualizes. It does. Everyone always looks young. No one gets old. Krishna is 16 eternally. God himself is 16 eternally. He doesn't get old. A very blissful place. No coronavirus. No tax. No internet. Hands up if you like to go to a place where there's no internet. Wow.
Makes
I'm like that too. What's that?
mixed feelings there.
What is it?
The internet gives us cat videos, so mixed feelings there.
Mixed feelings.
Feelings there.
Mixed feelings.
Everything else.
Everything else. But internet would be hard for you. Yeah. You have to really go deep to give up internet. But actually there's no internet there. We didn't have internet 100 years ago. Everyone was okay. Has it improved our lives? In some ways, yes. Has it made our lives less pleasant in some ways?
Yes.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's not perfect. So in the spiritual, there is no internet. There is also no mobile phones.
Oh yeah.
80% of the world, first thing they do when they get up in the morning, they pick this up.
Yep.
It's a fact, they've done surveys. 80% of the world. Right? When they get up in the morning, first thing they do, they look at their phone. Hands up if that's you. Yeah, it's true. Most people do it. First thing they do in the morning, get up, look at the phone. So, in the spiritual world, there are no mobile phones. However, there is a very good communication system. Because they all live, it's like a forest area. You know how they communicate? Right? Parrots. Right? The parrots come, and Krishna can speak to the birds. Right? In the spiritual world, everyone can speak to the birds also. Like that. Just like this little boy who sounds like a parrot. Who is that little boy who is talking? Who is talking? Who sounds like, are you listening or talking? Oh, very good. No more parrot talk, no more parrot talk. So, in the spiritual world, the parrots land, and if you want to send a message to someone who's somewhere else in the forest, you just speak to the parrot, and they fly and they tell. Right? So there's no 5G. Right? Everyone's worried about 5G now. Oh, 5G, you know, it's frying all of us. It's like, oh, you know, we're all getting affected by 5G. It's killing all of us. There's no 5G there, so you don't have to worry. It's just parrots. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes.
Parrots go, hey, just like, you know, Mummy's cooking now, just say, yeah, ask him if lunch is ready. Yeah. Right? Lunch ready? Ready. Come on. Ready? Yeah, ready. Okay. Cool. Imagine. It's so cool. This is what it's actually like there. We're not making this up. This is not mythology, and it's not storytelling. Right? This is ancient spiritual knowledge. Right? We want everyone to go back to that place. It's far superior. There's also no birth. No one gets born. There's no death. There's no old age, and there's no disease. So there's no problems. Right? But we are all attached to staying in this world. We all have material desires, and material desires keep you in this world. And that's why we're all here. We're all stuck in this material world, because we have material desires. We're attached to the iPhone. We're attached to the internet. We're attached to Birkenstocks. We're attached to, you know, we're all attached to the most ridiculous things. Right? If you look at us, we're actually attached to the most ridiculous things. Right? Oh, my earrings. Where are my earrings? Oh, my earrings. I need my earrings. Where are they? Have you seen my earrings? Where are my... We get attached to the most ridiculous things. So many things. So, we have to break those attachments. Now, how do you break the attachment? Because attachment is very hard to give up in this world. Do you think that's true?
Yeah.
Many things we're attached to. Very hard to break the attachment. So how do we break the attachment? Right. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Param Jushtva Nivartate. You have to have a superior thing. Just like if the children, sometimes the children are playing with matches. So how do you get the matches off the kids? You say, give them to me. They say, no. You say, give them to me. No. And put them behind their back. Give them to me. No. And then and have you ever seen the kids lose it? No? Any of you have got kids? Have you seen your kid lose it? Right? Especially in the shopping centre. Especially in the... I saw one kid, this is years ago. He wanted something and his mother wouldn't give it to him. And like he laid down in the aisle of the supermarket and just started rolling back and forth and screaming at the top of his lungs, I want that! Ah! Well, it was just tumultuous. Right? Very amusing for all of us. Right? Not amusing for the mother. in the shopping centre. And the child is completely losing it. But this is what it's like. We're all like that. We get attached to things, and then it's so hard to break that attachment. And when you look at yourself, you know, as years go by, you know, if I look at myself 30 years ago, and some things that I was attached to, which now don't have that attachment anymore. And I think that's ridiculous. So many things we're attached to, but actually it's ridiculous. And in Sanskrit it is called anartha. Anartha means invaluable. Something which doesn't have value. We're attached to things which actually don't have any value. But we're attached to them. So those material desires, they keep us trapped in this world. Now, Krishna says, to overcome that, you have to get the param drishtva. Param drishtva means superior pleasure. So the best way to get the matches off the kid is you give him something better. Or something, so I'll give you this matchbox car. I'll give you a toy car. You give me the matches, I'll give you the car. Kid says, okay. Usually, right? And some kids, these days it's like another thing. But, right, you give the superior thing, he gives the inferior thing. So Krishna says that if you want to give up your material desires, you have to replace them with spiritual desires, or with spiritual pleasure, with spiritual attainment. Right? So that's what we teach in the Hare Krishna movement. Give up your material desires. Through your devotion to Krishna, to God, you develop a superior pleasure, a happiness, which allows you to give up your attachments in this world, and then you can go back to the spiritual world quite easily. It's all attainable. It's not unattainable. We have to know the process. It's not as simple as just dying and saying, oh, I was a good person, but you actually have to develop a spirit of devotion to Krishna. So that at the time of death, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam, whatever you meditate on at death, that's what you will attain next. So it's a science. What will we meditate on at the time of death? What will you think about? Where will your mind go at the time of death? Where will it go?
What?
What's that?
I guess how you spent your life, whether you've been a good person, you've had a fulfilled
No,
life.
but what will your mind go to at the time of death? Your mind doesn't sit there and think, oh, if I've been a good... It doesn't think like that. Your mind goes to what it is most attached to.
Yeah.
That's what your mind goes to. Right? You'll see already, if you have a near-death experience, your mind will go to what you're most attached to. What gives it shelter, what gives it security. So for us, we try to make that Krishna. So that if we do die, we'll be thinking of him, then we'll go. I've told many times before, but many of you haven't been here before. I was in a car accident about 12 years ago in New Zealand, and we were driving down the road and we hit ice, and then the car started ice skating across the road. Go, whoa, and then suddenly, crashed. Right. So I woke up in hospital. I don't remember the accident. I got a hit on the head, so I can't remember the accident. But I woke up, and my previous wife, I asked her, I said, what was I doing while we crashed? And she said, you were saying Krishna, 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 Krishna. That's what I was doing. And I was very relieved, because that was a near-death experience. That was a examination. Sometimes you get an exam, right? And sometimes you get the test exam before you get the real exam. So you want to make sure that you're on track. So that gave me a lot of comfort, actually, because I thought, well, that's good. I've been practicing all these years. And when I was really in trouble, that's where my mind went. I was saying to Krishna, Krishna, protect me. Right? And then he protected me. I'm still here. Right? He wanted me to stay here so I could do some more service for him, help other people attain enlightenment. And then next time, I don't know when the next time will be. It might be tomorrow, might be today, might be in 100 years. Probably not 100 years, but maybe in 30 years. I don't know when the moment will come. But you want to make sure your consciousness is in the right place. And so you have to get that superior spiritual pleasure. And when you get that, it becomes very easy to think of Krishna at the time of death. And then you will go to the higher place. So that's what the Hare Krishna movement is for. It's to teach real spiritual knowledge. We don't want pseudo spiritual knowledge. There's so much pseudo spiritual knowledge out there these days. Where people say, oh, spiritual just means, just do whatever you want and I do whatever I want and it's all spiritual and everything's beautiful. And it's not like that. We need scientific knowledge how to get back to the spiritual dimension. So our process is very easy because our process is very pleasurable. Our movement is a movement of genuine happiness. Just like today we're doing some chanting. Right? The chanting gives you great spiritual pleasure. Yesterday at our sister farm in Byron Bay in Mooloolah, we have another property. We came back from there yesterday. We went for a little break up there. They had an 8-hour kirtan. They were chanting for 8 hours. Then everyone was coming and sitting. Most people don't sit for the whole 8 hours, but you come and go an hour at a time or something like that. But it's a very powerful spiritual mood which comes. It connects you to God, to Krishna. So this is the methodology. If you want to go back to the spiritual world, the chanting takes you back. It is like God's telephone number. Just like if I want to contact you, I say, what's your number? Huh? Right? So I say, what's your number? Right? Now you put your number in. Right? And then whenever I need you, I just go, bang. You're there. So wouldn't it be nice having God's number? If I said, do you want to ring Krishna? Do you want to speak to Krishna himself, God himself? Hands up if you want to speak to Krishna himself. Wow, that's cool. Some people want.
I want to, definitely.
You want to definitely? Okay, so...
When I get a phone.
Okay.
Subtle hint.
Hey, come and see me after you get the phone. I'll give you the number. We will connect you. We can actually connect people. We can actually connect people. It's not unachievable. You can commune with him. You can connect with him. Would you like his number?
Yes.
Shall I give it?
Yes.
You want it? The kids are enthusiastic. That's good. The adults should be like the kids. See, what happens is as you get older, you complicate your life and your mind. So then when I say, do you want the number? The adults are like, I think so. Yeah, that'd be cool. Other people are looking at me now, so I probably should say yes. We think all these crazy things. Kids just say, yeah, give me the number. So if you want the number to Krishna, to God, if you actually want to connect to him, that Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, they are his names. So when you're chanting Abhini Twa Nama Nama No, there is no difference. So you feel his presence. You actually connect directly to him. It is the telephone number, so to speak. It is direct communion. That's why they call us the Hare Krishna movement, because we're always chanting.